And you mentioned Jane Elliott as well. Now, some people they may be familiar with Jane Elliott, but if you could tell them a little bit more about Jane Elliott, what is the blue eye, green eye, or blue eye, brown eye thing?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, she is for some people she's too much. For me, she's just enough, and she did do the blue eye, brown eye experiment, and what she was trying to get to, because Jane Elliott used to be a school teacher back in the day. She was around when Martin Luther King was alive. She was very angry when they assassinated him, and she vocalized her anger, which again, back in the 60s, that was unheard of for an Anglo-Saxon female to voice their anger about the a severe oppressive nature that was being done to, people of color. So she voiced that. She went on to do more research. She did this blue eye brown eye experiment, and what it showed her and it showed the world is that the very people who were creating this system of oppression for us, they couldn't even endure an experiment that lasted approximately an hour or two. And there was something as simple as the blue-eyed people cannot go to the restroom. They need, if they do, they need a hall pass. They need to ask for permission. Every single thing that you do, whether it's eat, pee, want to go to sleep, need to make a phone call, you need to ask for permission. All of the blue eyes didn't need that type of hall pass, right? They could just wander about, come in and out of the experiment as they please. They could even have the freedom to leave and go home. So just that little small contained experiment showed me a lot. It showed me, number one, that this woman was fearless, and number two, she made a very good point to show both sides, right? People who oppose racism, people who actually were okay with racism, and people who were simply indifferent. There obviously were serious and still are serious differences that our society, especially in America, makes as it pertains to skin color, ancestry, and things like that. And so for Jane Elliott to do an experiment even further back, I think she did that back in the 90s, or maybe even the late 80s when this experiment happened. I can't remember the exact date, but I will say this: during that time was not a time for someone to be doing those type of experiments, but she did it because she had no fear. And it takes people like her, it takes people like Gladys Mae West, it takes real pioneers, Martin Luther King, to name just a few, to really pave the way for real freedom for everyone.
Yeah, definitely, man. Big salute to all those people you mentioned. So what you got coming up? You got some more shows coming up? Like, some people do seasons and they take a break. Is it all year round? Is it every day, every week?
Oh, it's definitely not every day, every week now. I have a lot of projects that I'm working on for this year that have to be released this year. So, what I've done is I've reduced my podcast to once a month. Sometimes I may do two shows in a month. All the years before, since 2019, I would do a weekly podcast. But now my time is so limited. Like, things are really just coming at me, and I want to be able to dive headfirst into my projects. Like, for instance, I'm working on a short horror film now. I already have a movie out. The name of my short film currently is Nella. And guys, if you haven't heard of this short film, definitely go check it out. It's on sisterstalk.org /Nella, and I can put it in the comment section. Or I'll put it in the chat for you to grab. So check it out. That movie's actually just showing the world all the struggles that women of color endure from elementary age all the way into their after their retirement, post retirement. And it's a real eye-opening film. Some pieces of it stem from my life, stem from other people that I love, females that I love that are in my family or very close friends of the family, and very serious, real issues. So yeah, I'm just doing the podcast this year once a month. That's how I'm rolling.
Oh wow, that's amazing. So you into making film. So what role do you play in the film? Like, do you write the film? Are you acting in the film? You directing? You
So
editing? What all?
yeah, so for the short film Nella, it's a 30-minute short film. I actually wrote it, directed it, and produced it. I my actors and actresses, oh my God, shout out to them. They were so amazing, so well versed, and they really brought this film to life. What inspired me to create the short film Nella was a lady that's very close to our family. She was homeless at a very elderly age, 82, and it just burned me up. It made me so upset because I feel like we have really strayed away from being a real community these days, and it's not just today. It's been leading up to this point. And I kind of feel that a lot of people feel like it's every man for himself. And to a degree, that's true. However, when our community leaders become so old that they can't help themselves, then that's when we should, activate and say, all right, I can't do all this by myself, but maybe we can gather 10 or 15 people, put in some type of money pot, so that we can help this person get a place to stay. Or there's so many different ways to do that, right? But we don't do enough of that, and we don't strategize together as a community. And so that's really what inspired me to create that short film. And I actually filmed it right smack in the middle of the whole COVID frenzy in 2020 and released it at the end of that year.
Wow, that's amazing, man. Big salute to you. I mean, you said a lot of powerful things. I'm gonna definitely have to check that one out. Man, I mean, if everybody give a little bit, we'll have a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Uh,
And you
Cooperative
think about it,
economics.
we spend money on cars, we spend money on shoes, clothes, purses, nails, weaves, everything. I mean, why not spend it on the things that matter? Someone having a roof over their head that's taking care of the entire community, that matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely. Hopefully we can get back to that. And if they check out the film, hopefully they'll be inspired to do more. That's why I share a lot of the stuff that I do. But some people take it the wrong way. Why you showing you helping people, but then we show drugs, we show clothes, we show the food we make, we show people getting beat up. So why can't we show us helping the less fortunate or giving back to the community? Make that cool. Make that a trend. Make that a challenge. Everybody challenge themselves to do something for somebody
Yeah.
in the community.
I wholeheartedly agree. That's the thing. We've allowed, I really do say, when I say we have allowed media to just tell us how to think, how to act, how to respond, you know, how to serve, all of that. We've allowed media to tell us that media is a construct that was created by man. How can we allow that to control us? So we really got to start back thinking. That's the reason why I do everything that I do. That's why I did my podcast. Open up your eyes and see. You don't have to keep giving people who are already wealthy your money. Share that wealth with the community. You have people in your community that own businesses and you're not even supporting them. I created short film Nella. Why? Because there are young African American women that are going through the educational system that's not serving them, that are getting into bad relationships. Those relationships are not serving them, and vice versa. The relationships for men, black men, aren't serving them. And then you think about, as you've worked all your life and you retire, you just want to be able to sit at home and relax. And now you can't do that because you're being evicted. You see what I mean? So it's just one thing after another. But we can solve that by simply thinking and strategizing and then putting what matters first, like you said.
Yeah, definitely. But like you say, thinking, man, is 90% mental. Some people they just either, some people just only know what they know. They haven't been taught or they haven't seen an example. But a lot of times fear is a factor. They don't want to, like you started off with your podcast. Some people
Mhm.
probably will have great podcasts, but they so scared about what people gonna think or it's gonna fail, all that stuff. They defeat themselves before they physically even try to do it. So